Hi, this is me, Faiza Tanaja, and this is also me as a teacher. But enough about me. Let's go right away into international and Malaysia classroom language analysis. Before we start, I believe it is best to say that the differences we'll be seeing later between international and Malaysian classroom languages stem from cultural, pedagogical, and systemic factors. Then, we're going to watch a clip of my digital portfolio. Let's go and see! The previous one was the cover page, and then this is my small introduction of myself and the classroom language definition, followed by the samples of international videos found, which ranges from 20 minutes to 40 minutes. And then from Malaysia, however, there are many short clips that I have found and compiled them into one page. These are the complete analysis of the task, but I would give a comprehensive view of mine at the end of the video. Okay, let's go! As for the first aspect in the difference between international and Malaysian classroom, it would be giving instruction. So, as I stated here, both have clear step-by-step instructions often accompanied by visual aids. And justification on how to apply in Malaysian classroom would be, meditation can be integrated especially with energetic or hyperactive students to calm them. So, meditation is an example given in a class of year 1 pupils, which is 7 years old in international classroom. Having that meditation activity in the classroom with the hyperactive students, I believe it would calm them and soothe their mood, accommodating our own needs as a teacher to give knowledge in a serene situation or atmosphere. And so, other than that, I would like to elaborate more on giving instructions international and Malaysia. The difference that I can clearly see would be the 2-minute meditation that I had previously mentioned, the physical warm-up after meditation, the 1-minute preparation before starting the class, which is the cleaning up the desk and put the right subject or books material, and eyes on me rule, which is also actually applicable and integrated in Malaysia context or Malaysia language, Malaysia classroom. And then transitioning to and from activities, it is believed that after all of the videos and materials that I had carefully researched, the teachers always reminded the students of the rules established, which is to not lose focus or being distracted in class. Which they use the word or phrases like let's do another activity, now we go to the next, for the next one, without any noise, move, so pupils wouldn't be straying off the lesson. For giving instructions, again, they were very clear and concise. For explaining the lesson content, however, it is different between international and Malaysia classroom. It is because for us Malaysia, all teachers, doesn't matter if they are primary school or secondary school, both need to speak out or write the lesson objective on the whiteboard in order to ensure that the students know what they are learning. But for international, it doesn't matter, or they don't put emphasis on that much, meaning the teachers would probably jump into the lesson with a short statement that can insinuate on what to learn. Let's say, for the first video that I had sampled, the teacher said, we're going to learn about engineering. What is engineering? So the teacher jumped into the lesson. For international giving instruction, for the last aspect, which is explaining or clarifying tasks, students would, you need to do hands up if you don't understand, who can explain what to do, I need you to listen to my instructions. I believe all of these, even though using simple words, the students there, which is their local language, is English. So even if simple words in a complex sentence, the students would understand. However, for our students, which is Malaysian students, they shorten it, meaning the teachers would shorten the sentence or the question. Understand? Are you ready? You got it? Yeah. Even internationally, they would say kapich to make sure that the students understand or not. But we can't do that because that is out of Malaysian context and students are not very familiar. They don't find that word relevant. The next one would be questioning strategies. From here, I see that international classroom include diverse questioning strategies. They have procedural, convergent, divergent, and Socratic questioning. Meanwhile, Malaysia only focuses on procedural and convergent questioning, which means that they didn't put a lot of divergent and less focusing on critical thinking. So my justification on how to apply more divergent or Socratic questioning would be to add more critical questions in the classroom, which then would help develop higher order thinking skills in students. Other than that, I would say that the waiting time between international and Malaysia classroom are quite different, which means for international, it would mostly be shorter than Malaysia. I had found that in the videos, it is mostly 1 or 2 minutes for each question, but for Malaysia, it would depend on the student's ability to answer. Meaning that if it's like more than 2 minutes, more than 3 minutes, teacher would follow the students more rather than the students follow the allocated time of the teacher. The third aspect would be managing behavior. International classroom use many positive reinforcement and structured routines, same as Malaysia. But Malaysia has a less creative way of curbing negative behavior, which is calling out the name and then glaring or give them the specific look. It works, but it doesn't quite follow up to date with our modern world or pedagogy. My justification on how to apply the international classroom managing behavior would be applying the merit and demerit or reward chart in the classroom. So, we're going to analyze managing behavior, especially the establishing classroom routine. So, managing behavior has track, snap, and shine, meaning that they track, the eyes would be on the speaker or the students that is speaking or the teacher that is speaking, and then we need to snap at them when they had already finished talking, and shine, meaning that they wiggle their hands towards the speaker. Hands up and hands down is a verbal instruction whenever they have questions, and hands down meaning that any questions from the students would no longer be valid. The teacher want to continue on with the lesson. And then eyes on me and clap routine are both a routine that is used for the same purpose, which is whenever the students seem distracted, the teacher would then say eyes on me, or teacher would clap, and then they would have like the specific rhythm they need to follow. So the other one would be without no noise. Without no noise instruction, meaning that the teacher want the class to be silent. If they are noisy, then if the is spoken, they would stop talking. And then brain break. Brain break is warm up, but they use a creative term. Meanwhile, managing behavior classroom language from Malaysia would be hello, hello, hi, or hocus pocus, eyes on me, and counting. For hello, hello, hi, the students would say the opposite of the teacher, meaning if teacher say hello, they would say hi. And then for hocus pocus, it is a song. So whenever teacher started with everybody would start paying attention and need to sing along with the teacher of the hocus pocus song. For eyes on me, it is the same rule as established in international. And then for counting, whenever the teachers start counting from 10 to 1, the students need to be as quiet as possible. So that is the difference between managing behavior between international and Malaysia for the aspect of establishing classroom routine. For the last aspect, providing feedback. So as the side-by-side comparison showing, international classroom is more specific and personalized feedback. Meanwhile, for Malaysia classroom, teacher often gave feedback generally, which is correct, okay, good, great job, which would focus on the results more over the process. My opinion on this justification would be that the teachers in Malaysia need to give a more detailed feedback that can encourage students to reflect on their learning process and improve progressively instead of them focusing on results. So let's look at the specific of the difference between giving feedback internationally and in Malaysia classroom language. Again, for oral feedback, it is more personalized, more intimate, and more specific. Let's say the students, the teacher say, oh, I love your question, I love the way you're thinking, I like how critically you are thinking, what a great question. So I think that feedback itself is showing that the teacher compliments him or her on the process instead of the result. Meanwhile, for Malaysia, again, it focuses more on the result. But for written feedback, international has indirect and unfocused feedback. This means that the teacher would often give or emphasize on the error, but not identifying that, not directly telling the students what is wrong. The students need to think for themselves. So unfocused feedback meaning that the teacher would give a comprehensive error found instead of a focused one, a specific one. It differs from Malaysia because Malaysians more direct, and according to Salvara Ju, it says that Malaysia give a direct feedback, metalinguistic, and focused feedback most Malaysian teachers. So this means that the teacher would locate, underline, and make a circle on the error, or even pointing out the wrong grammar immediately instead of indirect. All in all, the differences stem from the learning system, the culture, and both has its own pros and cons. And that's all from me. Thank you.